Everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with another episode of Your Turn with your wonderful hosts, Paraka the Goblin and
Ghost, your co-host.
And this week there was actually quite a bit of this was a heavy week. This was news heavy. This is probably the reason why we even started this thing instead of trying to piece together stuff like rumors and crap on some of the slower weeks. But we had a Nintendo Direct that happened, which is pretty cool. We also have an upcoming horror games direct for indies. For those who are into indie stuff, we plan on actually doing a reaction to that. So, let's keep our keep your eyes out for that. And then on top of that, Unity tried to screw over the said indies that we just mentioned
man.
Oh my god,
what were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
Right? So we're gonna go ahead and let's start at the top of the list here. Nintendo Direct. Your opinions.
Cool, right?
So, honestly, like it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a bad Direct. Like, it was. 2019 still reigns supreme as probably the most barren Directs they've had, and I think it's because they blew their load really early in 2017. Just like blasted all out there, like boom, 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 and then it was just like right before everything started to get weird with lockdowns and such, and they're like, so yeah, we just released all of our games. So 2019, I remember spring 2019, it was one of those like, man, they didn't even have one of those and one more thing type of situation at all. Like,
okay.
And honestly, I think that's actually kind of crazy. Like, Nintendo kind of started that whole one more thing, and I have seen that statement and stunt happen on multiple different types of directs. Even with the Monster Taming Direct that I did a solo reaction to, they did that one thing, the one more thing,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, I just think that's pretty funny looking back at it when I was saying it out loud. But yeah, this one wasn't too bad, but announced a bunch more. There's a lot of Mario games, dude. And oddly enough, not a single one of them's a 3D platformer. Like, they literally was like, I'm gonna skirt around that for a moment and just like went on through past that. I'm like, but I'd buy that one. Like, oh my god. So, highlights for you. What was the highlights?
I would say the coolest one is the Princess Peach game.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's funny because I kind of like how they're doing her little costumes and stuff, and her own like enemy group and stuff.
Yes.
Like, it's not just, oh, Bowser's after me again, and like you're thwarting Bowser with girl power, independence, or whatever bullcrap. Twitter, X-Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is like clamoring for it. It's like, what? He has to have a different, whatever. Like, they're very upset by it. It's actually kind of funny. They're upset that Peach isn't girl bossing enough because the game is basically not, oh, she's just thwarting away somebody who's trying to kidnap. No, they're screwing up a show, and she's like, well, this sucks. I'm gonna make my own show with blackjack and hookers.
Maybe she likes to look pretty. Maybe she doesn't want to shave half her head and look like shit.
Basically, yeah. Because you look like a pineapple doesn't mean all of our characters has to. Yeah, no, like that game was actually getting to see a lot more of the details and stuff. Like, you know what? I'm on this, because originally it kind of felt like another Yoshi game. You know what I mean? Like, it was like easy playing. It's not. It's cute. It's just adorable. It's entertainment to play when you're just like, if I was streaming a game, but I was more wanting to focus on talking to my chat, that would be a game I'd play. Yoshi and stuff, right? Because it doesn't demand a lot of your attention. You just play through it and kind of poke around, see if you find your hidden characters or whatever, and it's fun, right? It's just lighthearted. It's not crazy or anything, but it's not something that I would just want to get, sit down and play.
No, give it to Team Ninja. Make it hard and brutal as shit. I've been playing WoW long, so it's really fun. But make it brutal and hard, right?
But hey, you know what? Platformers can be very hard too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because Crash exists, and
that's
the original Dark Souls.
Thank God for intermittent save. Otherwise, I wouldn't play Mario.
No, I'd still play Mario straight through. Like, honestly, I probably still do not. Like, the only time I ever use the intermittent save stuff for, like, Nintendo Switch Online and such is when I have to actually, like, put down the controller and go do something real quick. That's not on me. You know, like, when I was a kid, I'd have to start the whole thing over. I'm on level 8. I'm ready. Let's do this, right? No, you don't get to. Not this time. You know, like, it's just... I remember being so upset that one time. Anyway. Yeah. So, that's all kicking ass. But usually when I want to play and sit down, like, if I die, I want to still keep that experience.
Oh, okay.
As much as I want to cheat sometimes. I really do. What was your biggest disappointment out of it all?
I don't know, Pokemon, I guess. Like, it's just more
It's DLC.
DLC. Yeah.
It's just DLC. Like, honestly...
But, I mean, I guess they're wrapping up Scarlet and Violet, too, so it's like, you can't expect way too much, but...
Yeah, no. And honestly, the DLC for Scarlet and Violet doesn't seem as exciting as the tower challenges that Sword and Shield had. Now, mind you, I didn't like the base game of Sword and Shield. Like, I really didn't. Right? I like the base game of Scarlet and Violet way more, but again, like, you're talking about these modern games that I just recently played, like the last 4 generations, are still, like, down here on the totem pole, and I've only played the first 3 before that.
Yeah.
You know? So, I only have that drastic of... Like, there's a huge gap in the center. I don't compare it. I haven't even played the remakes of Diamond and Pearl yet, and that's not like trashing it. I just haven't, so I don't have any options or choices or anything yet. You know,
I mean,
like, I don't have anything to compare it.
To pick up one just eats so much time. Like,
Yeah, and I'm not saying like out of all the Pokemons, Sword and Shield's still bad. Urshifu just saves it all. Okay, Urshifu just single-handedly saves that entire generation. But for the most part, like, Scarlet and Violet, even with all the weird bugs that it has, I still can find enjoyment out of it. Like, throughout, just kind of even chilling out and trying to discover. Like, even when I found the 4 locked away legendaries and stuff, like, that was kind of interesting, especially when we were in a world where that would have tried to spoil it the moment it came out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, all the locations of the pins and all that stuff. I found it all on my own, and it was awesome. So, there's that. But for the most part, it is DLC.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, oh, I'm really disappointed the DLC should have saved. No, it's DLC. DLC has never really fundamentally saved a game from being the way the game is.
I mean, Nintendo really knows how to do it too, because it's kind of like you don't really have to buy it, but when you do, you're just kind of like, I could have done without it, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that, honestly, that's how DLC should be treated.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, people are like, oh, well, you would have to get... If you're not a huge Pokemon fan, that shouldn't even be an issue for you. You know what I mean? Like, the one that I get upset with DLC is fighting games. Because when you add a character, you drastically ruin how everything kind of functions, how everything functions, you know? Like, if you release a character that's semi-broken, that game just ruins the whole game. You know, that character just ruins the whole game for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm one of those people, like, I really don't like DLC characters. Like, it is the most bullshit thing to do, you know? Where the thing is, I think if people should do this type of thing, like, for instance, like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, they should release a digital only, quote unquote, early access to the game the way it is, and then drip feed all the DLC, and then release the full game on physical at the end of it, instead of releasing it twice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That way they could get all the kinks out, and everybody could get their early access experience, whatever bullcrap, out of the way.
No, screw you, buy it twice.
Yeah, basically. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. But yeah, so I guess I could share my stuff. My highlights, I don't know. Like, honestly, like, the game, there was a couple of things that I was like, oh, hey, you know, but there wasn't anything that got me really excited, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the ones that was a surprise was Another Code getting a collection re-release. Right? I was like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about that, and I could pick that up and have the 2 games, right? For a lot of people who want to play those games, they're depressing. They're depressing puzzle games. So, like, whereas the Famicom ones that they did about 2-3 years ago, they were more like thriller type mystery games, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
This one's kind of like that. It's like Professor Layton, but everyone's sad. Like, that's basically what this game is. But looking at like when we mentioned it last week, literally Nintendo has maybe 2 of their major secondary franchises to cover, like Star Fox and F-Zero, which is now 1 because my disappointment. I got the Monkey Paw Wish that I really didn't want. I got my F-Zero.
Sort of. Right?
It's digital only. It's only through the Nintendo Service Online. It's like, in order to play this new game, I have to rely on Nintendo services, Nintendo's accessibility, and at least 98 more players. Like, that sucks. That is not something I wished for.
They're just testing the waters. Right?
Well, actually, here it's really interesting because they did an interview with the creator of F-Zero, and he kind of like said something that was really interesting. The way they phrased it was basically, "I can't wait for the revival of the franchise." I'm like, excuse me, but what? That's you're saying this after this game got released and announced. What do you know? And I'm not gonna keep my hopes up. Honestly,
Well,
I don't know. We might even have F-Zero Go, and that's it. Like F-Zero Tour, because Mario Kart World Tour, the mobile game, is closing its doors next year.
Okay.
So
Well, 8 is just doing so damn well, though. I'm surprised. Like, it's still in the top 10.
Yeah,
like,
dude, it's
now.
never like it keeps flipping back and forth with Minecraft, even on the Switch's most downloaded games.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane, dude.
So maybe
Like, how
that's
much
why.
pure money is Nintendo making out of that game now? And then watch, they just released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
Yeah.
for all the stuff on it, and then they released it on the Switch too, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Plus.
Oh, God. And then Switch 2 comes out in Deluxe Plus DLC. Yeah.
Oh my God. I could see that happening. But I think it was like, that was also kind of one of those like meh announcements, was like the last 4 characters. And like, there was some people, I'm excited that Funky Kong's in there, but it's not like I'm gonna buy DLC for that. I'm not buying DLC for Funky Kong, but thanks anyway, But I did see a lot of people argue, it's like, well, this is why they should have Smash characters. They should just make Smash Kart from here on out. I'm like, first of all, no. Because they keep saying that Mario's just tapped out. I'm like, dude, I could probably list like 20 solid games.
Have you been to Japan?
Yeah, like, have you not seen the level of Mario that actually exists out there? Like, there was rumors that, that plesiosaur that they ride in Mario Party, and they have it in like Super Mario World and stuff like that too. It's just that orange plesiosaur. I think its name's Plessie too. Makes sense. But they could easily make that a character.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, it's not. This is not realistic Mario Kart. You know what I mean? And I just think that's funny. I'm actually surprised they didn't add Zelda though. Since Link is in the game, I'm just surprised they didn't add Zelda in there too. Or the Octolink. Just one of the two. It's not both. Just one of the two would have been like at the last end instead of like Peachette.
Yeah.
Like, that was the weird one to me. Like, you could have added an Octoling, and it could have copied like similar animations as the Inkling, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
And it would have been probably Anyway, my most disappointing was F-Zero. Like, I was really hurt by that. I'm really hurt.
We got the foot in the door, right?
Honestly, I hope, but I'm not one of those people that would be like, I can take what I can get type of thing. No, I want to be able to play my game at any time. Like, that's my point. And then the other one that was weird was they're doing a remaster of the 1,000 Year Door for the GameCube, right? RPG, everybody who's a huge RPG fan and Paper Mario fan there, it's like, it's the best Paper Mario. They're like freaking out now. Everybody's like, you need to buy this right now so it shows that we want this more than we want stuff like Origami King, all this, and all that crap, right? First of all, I don't think Nintendo will listen to you. Like, let's be real. But, you know, there's a hope that they go, you know, maybe we did enjoy making quote-unquote new races and unique character designs for Paper Mario. We should continue that, which, honestly, I would encourage. I think it helped Paper Mario feel more like its own universe than just a paper version of Mario. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I kind of like the quirkiness that they added characters that you won't see in your usual Mario game, you know? Which was great, which I think should have continued to happen. But what got me all weirded out was they're doing that for the second game, but not the first. The first game's not getting remade, which is the 64 one, which would have made a hell of a lot more sense, you know?
Maybe they're doing it for the
I'm gonna be
64.
They're gonna put it for the
thing.
That's I can see that they released Thousand Year Door and like play the other one. I'm like, no, I want a remake. Piss off.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, if they do that, that deconfirms XYZ. No, it doesn't, because there's several games that have gotten releases that are remakes or remasters that have NSO games on it as well. For instance, Link's Awakening DX or whatever, it's on the Game Boy Color one, and Link's Awakening Remaster was released years prior.
Yeah.
So let's get off our high horse and thinking that immediately is the new rule set. You're just making that shit up, you know? But overall, that was a whole lot of Mario.
Yeah.
Most Mario I'm not too interested in. You know, the Peach one probably is like the biggest surprise. Other than that, it was an okay direct.
Yeah.
I can enjoy it. I really wanted, I saw Dave the Diver and I really wanted that to be Blue Ocean or Endless Ocean's port. Just that just being a weird port that Nintendo would have done, just a collection of Endless Ocean, you know, whatever, right? That would have been great. But it didn't happen. Oh well. Was there anything you wanted to see that you didn't see in there?
Nah. Seem pretty good on the Switch stuff, I guess. Like, I don't know, they got so many games.
Dude, they
like,
have
what else?
so many games. Like, so many. Dude, even Nintendo's releasing like an average one game a month.
Yeah.
On an average. That's insane. There's not another company doing that. Like, not a single one, dude. And there's companies out there that own more studios than Nintendo does. So that's like saying shit, you know? Yeah. But yeah, so let's go ahead and let's jump into the next topic. Unity. Ugh. How to unify everyone against Unity by being This is the most confusing way to describe this. So Unity engine, for some people who don't know, is basically a programming engine for video games that allows a lot of, it was very accessible and understandable for a lot of indie developers. And since I'm a huge fan of indie developers, I am impartial to Unity, but not without the stipulations. I kind of always suspected that people can pull this crap. Like Unreal can, Unity has, and there could be multiple other engines out there that people rent out, like Cryware and stuff like that, that can really be a huge blowback. And this is a scenario I was warning people about, where I'm thinking people should start creating their own engines more often instead of heavily relying on Unreal, right? Mm-hmm. Because I was seeing a lot of people I think it's running on Unreal, so good, the game's gonna be so good, I'm so glad that, I'm like, dude, this is a concern, because what if Unreal pulls a shady nonsense?
So basically what's happening is Unity changed their terms of service that if anytime somebody downloads your game, they will charge you for it. They will charge the company for it.
Yeah.
So if you're a small little developer, they're gonna charge you for every download. They backpedaled on it, and it's for every first initial download. But there's a lot of really weird stipulations on it too.
Yeah, it's weird stipulations. They don't necessarily say what's considered a first download, as well. So if somebody, for instance, downloads it illegally, pirates the game and installs it, that's also like something that they can track because it's
they'll
that.
ping
And
you
like,
to it with it
so
too.
if that's the case, how many times does that game need to be installed, and how many times will we know that's the same game that they pirated?
Oh
You know
no,
what I mean?
no, but it's okay because they say they have their own fraud protection tech that they say developers will need to trust. So
We'll need to trust.
So basically, if you want to dispute it, you gotta go through them.
Yeah.
But they're still gonna charge you for it, and then
So they're
then
gonna
you
charge
have
you
to-
for it.
Yeah,
You're gonna go and go, hey, these fees are not mine. My game's not even out in that country, and they're like, all right, well then pay the fees, and then pay us for investigation fees, and then we'll see what we can do. And who knows what they're gonna do? They
Yeah.
could immediately just put it on the back shelf and then turn around and play the game that they just installed that charged you the
Yeah.
fee, And then on top of that, like how toxic does that have to be? Like you can literally just pirate a game of a company you hate because they didn't add any progressive ideals to their game because you wanted them to cater to you and validation to you, and then just repeatedly install it
yeah,
underneath a ghost IP, constantly uninstall, reinstall. How many times do you need to and you can write a script for that, right?
yeah.
How many people do you think will do that just to tank a company? Like, you've seen how toxic they are about a major company that releases a game like Hogwarts. They're still attacking some of the developers and stuff. That's messed up. Imagine being a solo developer that's like, I'm just going to do this. And they're like, well, how come this doesn't have XYZ in it for me?
Yeah.
They can immediately do that. Or, on top of that, who's to say that Unity just doesn't decide to do it themselves? And go, oh, somebody just installed it and uninstalled and reinstalled, uninstalled from their own office. You know, like what if them being a huge company that's publicly traded and their board of CEOs or their board of directors are all toxic ass people, and they're like, you know what? This game's doing so good. We should reinstall, reinstall, uninstall so we could get more money from that said person.
Yeah.
What if one company makes a Unity game and it takes off and it sells millions? What if they go, it would be great if we could get some more of his millions, Like, what's to stop that? Because they took away the terms of service, so the indies can't pull up and use it against them because they removed it because they're changing the fucking law talk in it, so that way they seem to be protected.
Yeah. I mean, be very vigilant because this seems like something that I know Unreal would ever want to pull to.
Yeah, this is one thing I swear I am willing to bet on.
Or just about anybody, but
I am genuinely willing to bet on Unreal pulling this stunt one of these days.
Yeah.
Like, what if it just gets economically struggling for them, and they get kind of have in a financial tight bind, and their board of CEOs and directors and stuff are like, we want our money now. What do you think they're going to try to pull?
Yeah.
And they're a bigger company. They're probably able to take more than just indies out, because Unity is one that all these indie developers were using. Unity was a thing that everyone was using that was like middle to small companies. So obviously Unity is going to just completely thrash the hell out of them, because what are they going to do? I'm a big Unity engine guy, it's stupid. But anyway, there is silver lining on this, and that has to do with the fact that every guy that's doing Unity, has now jumped onto Godot, which is an open source, meaning that nobody gets money for it, but there is people who are actively developing processes and stuff into it. They got so much money so far from donations that they are good for the rest of the year for all their developers. They're like, no, we're safe now. And all these developers are now trying to exchange information and ideas with one another to make sure everyone's on Godot or Unreal Engine and all that. They're just like, hey, if you're using Godot, let me teach you how to do this and this and this. So we're going to see a huge shift. And I like when stuff like engines like this are open source, because that way you don't really have to pay for crap on that, because everyone comes in and does a little change to that if they want it. I think the only flaw with open source stuff, and I've noticed a lot of tech guys are all about The problem I have with open source stuff is that there's more people willing to use it than develop for it.
No, okay.
You know, like for every 500 people, they're going to be like, how come this doesn't have it? They're all going to wait for the one developer guy that finally had enough and go in and change it. Even though everyone else could probably have done the same.
Yeah.
Like when something gets so big like that, it becomes a problem. But when it's like, I even have a File Explorer app on my computer here that removes File Explorer but uses a different system, and it's great. But because of how small of a company it is, it periodically gets updates and stuff. But everyone updates it because the people who like it want it to improve, and most of them are going to be programmers, not me. You know, like I'm probably their minority in that. But when it comes to game development and developing stuff that people want to see and create and generate and stuff, it's going to be very one-sided, and I hope Godot can really handle that type of pressure. But I would like to say, fuck you, Unity. Dude, like seriously, one of the CEOs, I think the CEO, what used to be a dude who worked from EA. So you can take the man out of the EA, but you can't take the EA out of the man. The dude literally just resonated EA all over Unity, and he's now sinking the company. And I feel like that's intentional too, because I feel like they're probably getting bought out by another major company.
Yeah, everybody's thinking that they're, what is it? It was either insider trading or they're jumping ship, because they dumped a bunch of stock too before they announced this. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that I think they were trying to tell them, don't fucking do this. And then they're like, nah, this will make the investors happy. So they're like, well, fuck you guys then. Like, I'm abandoning ship before. I'm gonna cash in my chips before this goes off. But at the same time, like, I don't know, they probably won't get investigated because we investigated ourselves and we found no wrongdoing.
Oh, you mean like the Blizzard and Microsoft deals? Oh yeah, we'll investigate that. That's horrible. No, we didn't find anything. And people are like, oh, okay, thank God. Oh, congrats. And then move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Unity, dude, that thing's still like blowing up. Holy crap. I'm so glad that they're like I like situations like this that when
are they just trying to tank their company? Like,
dude, I feel like
so
it's serious.
bad.
I feel like it's intentional. I really do.
Well, it's like, you know, you have to pay for it every time you turn your car on. Like, you know.
Yeah. Or how long? Like they're even like charging for runtime too.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
There's a lot of things that they kind of backed off on, but
I feel like no, they doubled down on this one. It wasn't runtime of the game; it's runtime of you using this system.
Yeah.
Like if you could sell a game and then like that run, yeah, it's a weird fucking system.
The only thing is, yeah, I can only think that they're trying to sabotage the company.
Yeah, like I feel like somebody's gonna be buying that system up for pennies on the dollar and just like gets eaten up by another major company. Watch it be Microsoft.
Yeah.
Like it would be very weirdly, situational about it. So, But we'll probably end it there. But Lord knows Unity hasn't stopped. So we'll probably cover some more if anything else comes up on that. But we're gonna end it right here. And thank you all for listening in. If you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always,
we will see you on the other side.
Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.